Hello and welcome to the StudyTravel TV studios in London. I'm Matthew Knott.
And I'm Nicola Hancox, bringing you the latest StudyTravel news stories.
The headlines this week: US reduces visa services in Russia.
Belta research shows development of Brazilian longer-term market.
And English UK releases quarterly data.
So, the recent diplomatic spat between the USA and Russia has started to impact on the study travel industry.
Yes, indeed. The USA has suspended all visa operations in Russia for 1 week, and from September 1st will only provide services from the US Embassy in Moscow and not at other consulates, a move likely to cause disruption for Russian agents and students.
The US Embassy said that all scheduled appointments would be cancelled and that applicants would be provided with details on how to reschedule.
However, Anastasia Romanenko, managing director at Russian agency Insight Lingua, told StudyTravel magazine that there had been immediate disruption, with students having to rearrange appointments from other consulates and long waiting times on the embassy hotline.
Agents expressed concerns about students that are due to commence academic programs in the autumn, although the US Embassy website states that a block of appointments will be allocated for such students.
Irina Naumova, director of BSI Group, told StudyTravel magazine that for short-term courses, it would not make sense to choose the USA as a study destination if the student lives far away from Moscow.
Next up, Brazilian agency association Belta has released the full version of its market research, showing growing interest in longer-term courses and higher spend per booking.
Yes, indeed. The Belta Seal Market Research 2017 builds on initial findings released earlier in the year and is comprised of a survey of 106 agencies representing 618 sales outlets and a complimentary questionnaire completed by more than 1,100 former and prospective students.
Programs of 12 months or longer increased their share of business for agencies, while more than a quarter of former students pursued undergraduate degrees overseas in 2016. Language plus work and postgraduate study also became more popular.
From the agency survey, Belta calculated that the average investment per client on a study abroad trip was $8,900. Maura Leal, president of Belta, said that students were more mature and were looking for education programs to match job opportunities.
75% of students book their course through an agency, with trust, custom-tailored services and ease of contact among the reasons cited for choice of agency.
And the importance of agents for recruitment was also highlighted by English UK's latest quarterly data release, showing trends for the April to June 2017 period.
Yes, English UK's quarterly intelligence report, based on 124 member schools, shows there was a 17% increase in student weeks compared to the first quarter, and that Saudi Arabia was the largest source market by weeks, followed by Italy and Korea.
Almost 90% were adult student weeks, although the junior sector is expected to be far more prominent in the Q3 report, which will cover the peak summer season.
The authors of the report said that 75% of all student weeks in Q2 were booked through a partner agency.
And now for a roundup of some of the other stories this week. Lexis Group, the parent company of Australia-based ELT provider Lexis English, has announced a new partnership with Idea Education Network to open the first CELTA teacher training centre in the Philippines, targeting both local and international students.
Kaplan International English has launched a new Best of America course, an intensive academic year programme at a range of its US schools, incorporating English language tuition, cultural studies and preparation for higher education study.
The New Zealand Qualifications Authority has removed accreditation from 2 Level 5 business courses for international students at AWI International Education Group in Auckland.
Several private sector higher education schools in the UK are planning to apply for degree awarding powers under new rules being introduced, according to a recent survey of 111 alternative providers by Association Independent Higher Education.
In our Grapevine photo gallery section this week, you will find pictures from the 20th anniversary celebration for John Paul International College in Australia, the opening ceremony for ACS Cobham's new boarding house, and Lead 50/50's coaching and carver session.
That's all for our news bulletin, sponsored this week by the Federation of Education and Language Consultant Associations, or FELCA, which will be holding its annual AGM next week at Alpha UK here in London.
Yes, that's come around quickly, hasn't it? We look forward to seeing many of you there and at the StudyTravel Star Awards.
Thank you for watching. We'll be back with more stories next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.